Hello there, people of the internet. How's everyone doing today? I'm doing alright, thanks for asking. So I had a little run-in with my spray paint can. I already hear Kevin screaming. You're probably going to hear Kevin. If you don't know who Kevin is, he's my peacock. I got 4 of them. They're noisy birds. I had a run-in with my can of spray paint. I went out and got myself a nice neon green can of spray paint for my target so I could actually see it, and it decided to explode in my hands, so I decided that it needs to be shot. So it's out there on the gun range and we're going to go ahead and shoot that at one point or another. I'm also going to be using tracer ammunition today, so we might even see a little fireball. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But I went down to my local gun store not too terribly long ago, and they had one of these on their shelves. This is a Russian TOZ-122 or TO3-122. TOZ is the importer's designation for it, and TO3 is the rifle's designation, the manufacturer's designation for the rifle. But this right here is a Russian import. This was made in the Tula factory over there in Russia, same factory that's been making Mosin Nagants for the Russian military for a long time, as well as, you know, many other firearms for those crafty Russians over there. I saw this, I saw where it was from, and I figured to myself, my God, I gotta have that rifle. So I just kind of grabbed it. This particular one is chambered in .308. They are chambered in other calibers as well. I'm pretty sure there's a 6.5, pretty sure there's a .223. This one's in .308. And for anyone who might complain about the fact that I might be getting paint on this rifle, this happened a little while ago. Trust me, this has long since been dried, so we don't have to worry about me getting smudges on the rifle. Thank you, Kevin. Kevin is extra noisy today. What the hell, man? But let me go ahead and walk you through this rifle a little bit. Chrome line barrel or bore. I'm fairly certain that these right here are also made with polymer stocks. This one's obviously wood, so it's a little bit on the heavier side, a little chunkier. Not quite as heavy as a Mosin, but not quite as light as, say, a Savage. So a good in between. These rifles are still being produced today. It's not like this right here is a rifle from 60, 70, 80 years ago. They do have their own scope mount that you need to get specifically for this rifle. That's kind of a Russian thing. Seems like every rifle has its own specific mounting system. The AK had it, the SKS never had it, the Mosins had it. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that, buddy. But it's got its own, I'll try to pronounce this properly, proprietary scope mounting system. The scope that I have on this thing, I'm not 100% where it came from. It says Tasco on it. I've heard of that, but I can't quite remember anything about it. This also does have iron sights on it. The iron sights go on to both 100 and 200. What I'm assuming is meters, since this is from Russia. On the sights themselves, there's little dots to indicate which iron sight that you're using. And when aiming down this rifle, you can actually look under your scope and see your iron sights. And that's how I was able to zero this thing in. The scope isn't quite zeroed in properly, but it's pretty damn close. I'm hoping that for the video today, I'll be able to finish zeroing it in. Ammunition's kind of expensive, so I won't exactly be running a lot of it today. To remove the bolt from the rifle, just like with the Mosin, you just hold down the trigger and the bolt comes right out. Looking at the bolt assembly itself, it does share a lot of similarities with the Mosin. It doesn't have that rail system on the bottom, but besides that, very similar. I do want to point out that the ejector in this thing, however, not the extractor, the ejector, does not have an ejection spring on it. From what I can tell, the ejector actually catches on the sear itself whenever you pull the bolt back, and that is what ejects the round versus having a spring in it. Now, the follower in the magazine is not cut to where you can just close the bolt whenever it's empty. You have to actually push the follower down in order to drive the bolt home. Bolt handle is, I'm just going to say slim in profile because I'm not entirely sure what you would designate that as. It doesn't have a ball on it, instead it just has a curved end of the bolt handle. Not really my forte for bolt handles, but hey, it works. The wood has obviously some checkering on it, and it is clearly done by hand. The finish lines on it are clearly that of which accurate machining would not have made those mistakes. You can very clearly see that this right here is handmade. There is a little rubber butt pad on the back. Kind of works a little bit, I suppose. This one's obviously original since it has the Tula stamp on it. The magazine itself, I'm pretty sure that these hold 6 rounds. I hear some people can find 10-round magazines, but this one here is a 6-rounder. It looks like a 10-round. I'm sure if I got in there, took out whatever stop is stopping it at 6 rounds, I could convert this to a 10-round, because I'm fairly certain that you can cram 10 rounds of .308 into this box magazine, or at least more than 6. On the bolt itself, where is it at? Right there we got a couple of proof marks from whenever they were test firing the rifles. That's how you know that your rifles have been proofed and are safe to fire. Safety is on the back right here, a lot like a Savage Axis. You pull it back. This particular one is a little on the gritty side, but you pull it back to cover that red dot, and that shows the rifle's on safe. You show the red dot, that means your rifle's ready to fire. Now, besides the information that I've given, there's really not much else I was able to find out about these rifles. There's not a lot of information about these out there, simply because there's not a lot of these out there. I figured I'd go ahead and get one and make a video on it, share the information that I know, and knock off a couple of shots. From what I can see, these things are pretty accurate. I was able to hit shots out, and I'm not a great shot, so that goes to show that's a testament to the accuracy of this rifle. I also want to point out the trigger on this thing. It's a single stage trigger, but it's a very lightweight trigger. I would compare it to, it's probably about a 3-pound trigger, single stage. The trigger itself feels, honestly, the profile of the trigger itself, I'm not talking about the spring tension behind the trigger, I'm talking about the physical profile of the trigger, feels almost like a French trigger. The French had very straight triggers back in the day, and this is not as curved as, say, a Mosin's trigger that you would expect a Russian rifle to have. There's a cocking on open action. I think that's basically everything that I know about this rifle. So now what we're gonna do, I have my spray painted target down there. Like I said, my neon green kind of decided to no longer work, so I stuck it out there and it's going to be shot. I swapped over to my dark green can so I can actually see where my rounds are hitting. Originally, the dark green can did give me some issues as well, but it eventually came around, so that's why it's not out there to be shot. I'm going to go ahead and set up camera B so you guys can see where I'm actually hitting, and then we're going to step out to a reasonable distance and take some shots, see if we can hit that can. If we can't, I'm going to re-zero my rifle to be where it needs to be. Alright, so we're out here at roughly 100 or so yards. The wind today is hit or miss, so I apologize if there's any wind noise. I got 6 rounds loaded up inside this magazine. I also want to point out that I have a little rail on the bottom of the stock right here. I don't really know what it would practically be used for. Maybe a bipod, maybe a flashlight, maybe a laser light, but you pretty much throw whatever you want on that thing. But I just wanted to point out that it was there. The other photos I've seen from these rifles, that's not factory. That has been added after the fact. Okay, well, let's go ahead, load around if she'll load. Take aim and see just how on point this rifle here is. I'm just gonna aim for that spray can and let's see if we hit it. Oh, we did, and there's fire. Lots of fire. I'm gonna go put that fire out. Well, we definitely hit it, and I will say that was freaking sweet. Thanks, Kevin. I appreciate that, buddy. Always keep a fire extinguisher on standby, just in case, and a first aid kit. You never know what might happen here at the gun range. Okay, well, hopefully the rest of the car doesn't catch on fire. Now that I know that happens, I wasn't really expecting it to happen, but now that I know it happens, that's gonna make some really cool videos later on. Because, I mean, can of spray paint, you can get one of those for $1. Tracer rounds seem to light those on fire. That was cool. Hi there, folks. So, camera B took a tumble, fell down. I didn't get any footage that I wanted to get. And, I don't know, with the fireball explosion and how sweet that was, I felt like just me firing downrange without camera B there, I felt like it wasn't good enough. So I started thinking to myself, you know, tracers seem to start fire. Well, what else do? They look really cool at night. So rather than just shoot during the day and put that footage in here, I figured I'd go ahead and come out here whenever it's starting to get dark and lob some tracer rounds downrange. I'm still using that Russian rifle, so this is going to be in the same video. And I have in fact confirmed that this is a 6-round magazine, so heads up on that. Now the ammunition that I'm firing, this stuff is just surplus ammo, and the tracer compound is not always all that reliable. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to step off to a further distance. This way the tracer has as much time as it possibly can have to effectively light up. Why is this not going? And with the tracer rounds being fired, I mean, camera B wouldn't really matter anyway, because the whole point of staring at the tracer rounds is watching the tracer rounds light up in the dark. And, you know, camera B is 5 feet from the target, so who the hell would want to watch that? This is my little attempt to make the ending of this video as cool as I was wanting it to be without camera B, because camera B is currently, thank you, Kevin! That's Kevin. He's over there, I think. I don't know, that was kind of hard to tell where he was with these earmuffs on. But this should be pretty cool. Camera B is out of commission right now. I'll have to get it back up and going. So this is the next best thing. Let's go ahead and lob some lead? Is this lead core ammo? Are tracers lead core? Oh well, whatever. Let's lob some tracer compound. Alright, I'm firing. Well, boy, oh boy, I hope that caught on camera and looked as cool as it did in real life, because hey, that was pretty sweet. Well, I'm almost out of daylight here, so I'm gonna go settle in. You guys go off, have a fantastic day. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more. Other YouTube outro stuff, like the video. If you like the video, that helps out with the algorithms and whatnot. I'd like to grow this channel as much as I possibly can. And this was a lot of fun. This rifle, I haven't been able to find out a lot about it. Like even now, I mean, this is several days later since I made that last video. But I've tried doing a bunch of research on it. So if you know anything about this rifle, by all means, let me know down in the comments below. That being said, thanks for watching. I'm gonna go edit this, probably upload it, and drink some water. Damn, I'm thirsty. It's been a hot one today. Florida is a boatload of fun. Bye, guys. Since I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. The poor man's Garrett. Shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.